Hey, Genshin Impact. It's here, and I want to talk about it. To talk about why this game is important to the genre of Gacha, I need to talk about Gacha in general as its own little game genre. Gacha games are notorious for being difficult, as the way these games work is the gameplay is a front for you to spend money on buying new characters and items. But all the characters need to feel different enough to encourage you to gamble more on said characters. That's why it's very rare to have two characters that are similar in a Gacha game. But another major tenet to Gacha games is the combat. I will use the example of Fate Grand Order, which is currently probably my favourite Gacha game, on a mobile at least. This game has such a simple combat system, but the more you look into it, the more complex it gets. Every character has 5 cards in the game. There's 3 types of cards though in the deck in each character's deck of 5. Arts, Buster, or Quick. These all have different effects, and characters have differing amounts of all these cards, but need to stay in the limit of 5. You can have 3 characters in play at once, and all their cards get shuffled into a random combination, and you have a deck of 5 that you can play at any time. Buster cards do lots of damage. Arts charge up the character's noble phantasm, which allows for like strong ultimate attacks, and Quick, which gains critical stars, which increase the amount of damage you do if you have a crit. But this is when it gets more complex. If I play 3 of the same type of cards, I give a bonus. Buster doing lots more damage, Arts immediately charging MPs to 20%, and Quick immediately gaining 10 crit stars. While if you play 3 of the same character's cards, they get a bonus action. As you can tell, it seems simple, but then skills get into the mix. For example, a skill which allows for your current deck to be locked for a certain amount of turns, which adds for tons of new possibilities. Other Gacha games do things like pinball, with different characters having different effects on the game, or more top-down strategy kind of games. Now, how does this relate to Genshin Impact? Because it too has an interesting combat system with its elements. It has 7 of these which all interact with at least one other element. For example, if I use a cryo element on someone, then use an electric element, it does the superconduct effect. Or if I make a character, if I use a water hydro on a character and then use cryo, that will be frozen. But you also get bonus effects based on elemental team composition, which adds tons of new possibilities, which is really fucking cool. This is incredibly complex, and it will only be changed in shape depending on the metas of the game. But this is a really important part, as this interesting and complex combat system will help keep players captivated into the game. But Genshin, I think, the thing that makes it the most important and revolutionary to the gacha genre is that it is a proper game, an open world with tons of content. But one of the most important things is that it can be played on all systems. This is amazing, as the game had a budget of over 100 million. But you might be going, but wait, Genshin hasn't made that back yet. And the reason for this is gacha games don't make most of their money up front. They make it through the long run, as the more invested people get in the game, the more they're going to spend on it. This is going to encourage other gacha games to follow the business model and up their budgets and how much they're willing to spend on their game. I'm excited to see what this will offer, as although I do like Genshin, I'd be really interested to see it applied to different types of games. Initial Genshin in its current state, this is a lot of gacha games, but most have like tons of events to combat this. Is that in Genshin, if you reach a certain point, I'm not up to this point yet, you kind of have to wait very long amounts of times to roll. Like, it takes 1,600 gems for a 10 roll, which means one 10 roll every 10 days, 27 days, is if you follow the system, because the best way of rolling in all gacha games is 10 rolls. And you get this through daily quests, which are very repetitive and not very fun. This will lead to players reaching their endgame at a very fast pace, then immediately dropping off. This will lead to money coming in us through their gameplay experience, but the second they hit the end game, that'll be gone. This is weird though, because the game already has dungeons and raids. Well, they're not really raids, but kind of raids. So if these awarded like some amount of primo gems, it would lead to people spending money to build really good teams for said raids. And with new characters being added to the meta, Genshin would be able to make tons of money. So yeah, I know this video was different from my usual content, but I hope you guys enjoyed this vid. It was shorter than my normal stuff, but hey, I hope you found it interesting. If you liked it, please like the video and subscribe. That would really help me out. At 20 subs, I'm going to buy a new microphone. As you can tell from my already existing audio, it's not that good, so I would really like to improve that. Thank you.